Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Time to see what we got for a boat this year. First of all, right here behind me is a 1997 Seadoo GTX. It's a 3-seater, pretty stable as far as Seadoos go, and 110 horsepower, not too shabby. Let me just have a quick look at it. To anyone who hasn't been to the channel, I built a little rack for the back, put some super lightweight prospecting gear and camping gear on the thing, and it worked out to be a pretty decent prospecting boat compared to what I thought. Just having a look at the back here. Here's your jet pump. You'll notice it's got a good V to the bottom. I don't know exactly what degree V this is, but the distance between the very deepest point and if we come up the V to this chine, that's about 7 inches. So 7 inches, if you basically cut that in half, 3.5 inches is how much shallower that boat would sit if it was a flat bottom. And that's important because me and all my gear on that GTX sits about 10 inches in the water. And I did smash an intake grate once because it was a really gentle bank, so about 20 feet into the river it was still only about a foot deep, and I came off plane, landed right on a big rock, and smashed that intake grate. So 130 bucks later, thank you eBay, got that all fixed up, but shallower draft is good. So moving on to what we got for this summer. Not the dream boat, but right here, there it is. That is a 16-foot long flat bottom Jon Boat. Now a Jon Boat is not the dream boat because it's kind of a weak hull. The thin aluminum, I did hit a rock before in one of my boats, smashed a hole in it in the middle of the North Saskatchewan River. Hopefully I don't do that again, but some of the ingredients of this, prospecting boat are, if you're looking what kind of boat to get into for gold mining, first of all, how into gold mining are you? Step one, get a gold pan, a classifier, and a shovel. One without the other is useless. Pan, classifier, shovel. Go drive into places, figure out how to use them, find a good spot. Once you find some gold, you get yourself a high banker. That's the next step. And of course the step after that, well, you've run out of spots to look at, so it's time to get yourself a boat. You can just take a canoe down the river, have a friend put you in at one bridge and pick you up at the other bridge, camp overnight halfway. Pretty much get everything you need to on a budget. But this really opens up a lot of doors because you can move around wherever you want to go. Jet outboards, they're a lot more expensive than a Seadoo. That Seadoo back there, 3-4 grand and it's yours. An outboard like this, I mean 4 or 5 grand, right? So, and that's without a boat. But if you do, just get a basic Jon Boat like this, flat bottom. Put a lot of gear in there. It's what the fishermen use. If you see what fishermen use in whatever your local creek is, get a boat like what they're using. $100,000 exceptions don't apply here. Anyways, what I plan on doing to this thing. This is a 60/40 outboard. Weighs about 250, 260 pounds. Really good little unit. The guy who sold me the boat said he's had about 800 or 900 pounds of gear in the boat at any given time with him. So I won't be limited on what I can carry. Of course, the lighter the boat, the less chance of punching a hole in the bottom when I hit a gravel bar. One thing I would like to do is, we'll just have a look at the bottom, this intake grate. So this, it sits about 3 inches below the hull. So the very front here, that's going to be flush to the front, and then it actually angles down to take in the water. So this sits about 3 inches below the hull, which again, that'll start snagging rocks if you're really shallow. What a lot of boats do is they take the back section of the hull here and they actually cut out a section right here. So it'll cut out about 3 inches up, across and down, and then angles forwards. And that's called a tunnel. So if you ever hear of a tunnel hull, it's a type of race boat, but also it's basically a tunnel in the back of a flat bottom boat or a shallow V boat, which allows your jet outboard to sit a little higher in the water and not snag on rocks in the bottom. So, I gotta be careful not to take on too many projects here, but if I can find the time, I'd like to put a tunnel in the bottom of this, to TIG weld that in. I would like to put some fiberglass on the bottom of this boat, and that's probably not something I'd recommend doing, but an aluminum hull, when you hit a rock or a gravel bar, it's like glue. Aluminum grips rocks, which is not so good because you want to kind of slide over them. So you can put a little coat of paint on the bottom or something like that, it'll help. Apparently this leaks a little bit, it's a riveted Jon Boat, so I was thinking maybe I could add a little bit more hull integrity, a little bit more strength, a little more puncture resistance if I actually put fiberglass, like a sheet of fiberglass epoxy to the bottom. And with proper prep, it should stay. Maybe it'll peel off, but if I do end up doing that, you'll see the results here. But the biggest advantage of that is that when that fiberglass hits a rock, yes, I'll have to repair it, it'll get chipped up and stuff, but I'll slide over it, whereas that aluminum will just bite. So that's something I'd like to get done before spring. Not sure if I'll have a chance. And regardless of what I actually end up doing to make this a little bit more my dream boat, it's not a dream boat. It's just a functioning way to get around a river, throw some gear in there, and allow me to focus on the high banker and that fine gold recovery, getting a little more dialed in, getting more shovels in, getting more comfortable camp set up, and take you guys along with me. So if you want to see how much I get to modify this before I just take it out in the river, but regardless, if you want to see me out in the river with this thing this summer, subscribe to the channel. It's starting to grow. Cheers to all my new subscribers. Really appreciate it. And I'll try to keep you guys updated on the boat build once I can clean up my life and clean up my yard a little bit and actually get around to working on it. So until then, thanks for watching.